We skip the usual intro sequence, getting right to the heart of the action at River Fork High. Jentry's back, but she's far from unnoticed. Whispers follow her like Shadow's demon girl, they call her. It's a tough homecoming, highlighted by an awkward clash with some jocks and a dropped sketchbook. Thankfully, a random guy picks it up and shows appreciation for her art, but our clumsy cousin, who seems to have a penchant for skateboards, quickly turns the moment to cringe. And off Jentry goes, face-palming her way out of the situation. Goo Goo tells her these powers are huge, they can do amazing things, but if you keep repressing your Kai like this, you'll never realize your potential. Inside are more sketches, clues pointing to Mr. Cheng and the mystery of how her demon powers came to be, specifically the Shen Pearl that Goo Goo told her was responsible. In a weird turn, Kit calls and it turns out he has her phone. It was found by him at the diner. So Kit and Stella now know that Jentry was up to something the previous night. Stella chimes in about the fire. It turns out that while Jentry's phone was dead, she was not. She was setting up a date with Peng. The phone was dead because she put it in the chicken grease. As Jentry is trying to navigate all this, Peng mentions that her parents are telemarketers. She has visions of the past and they are pointing to her mom and dad. But things don't seem so sweet and simple. Mr. Cheng has a nefarious plan as he calls up Peng, seemingly to make a deal for the Shen Pearl. Then, as Jentry is processing, everything starts catching fire around her. Goo Goo has to literally pull her out to talk to her. She tells Jentry to control it. The next step is the key for her to finally learn to master her powers. She's got to do what Goo Goo wants her to do, but this isn't easy. Jentry has a strong moral compass and feels terrible that her powers hurt those she cares for. Goo Goo states that since Jentry is having visions, someone wants her to be having them, and that someone isn't good. Goo Goo says the magic that Jentry has is bound to her soul, and if she keeps repressing it, then she'll never get control of it in the portal. Then the focus shifts to some old book. It mentions the Shen Pearl and how it is what causes Jentry's visions. We find out that a Shen can cause mirages and also control people through those mirages. But that's when Peng walks in with a turtle. After the reveal that Peng had her phone, Jentry is flustered and runs out, leaving a slightly confused Peng. Jentry apologizes and says she has to go. Goo Goo tells Jentry to focus her Kai and think about what makes her upset. We see the skateboarder boy who knocked her sketchbook down earlier, making her feel like she's going to start another fire. Goo Goo, finally, tells her to close the portal with her Kai. As Jentry's hands start to glow, she closes her eyes. Goo Goo tells Jentry that the best way to control her powers is to master them, and then to close the portal. Goo Goo tells her to focus. Jentry asks about her parents, and Goo Goo responds that they were only telemarketers. They didn't know anything about this stuff. As the episode winds down, Jentry, who has had enough, puts the phone on the table. She is not having these shenanigans. Then, as they are about to close the portal, we find out that Mr. Cheng has set a trap, that Jentry and her family are walking into a bigger threat than she could possibly imagined. She has no idea what's happening, but she sees her parents about to go down with the ship, and she freaks out as she uses her powers again, inadvertently hurting the diner staff. Jentry cries for the danger her powers bring and for those who are hurt around her. She's starting to understand her powers and that she has a responsibility to get them right. When Jentry finally uses the Shen Pearl and her focus to open the portal, she discovers it isn't just her that's on the other side, but her parents too. Jentry then passes out as she has a glimpse into the future. And just when we think we've got it all figured out, boom, the series hits us with a twist. It's that old villain we love to hate, the evil Mr. Cheng. We also learn that Jentry's parents were not regular people, and they did work for a shady organization. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay awesome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing content.